Were you able to learn anything today, Luis?
Say that again?
Was he able to learn anything today?
Que si aprendiste algo del juego de hoy.
Sim, claro. É uma pré-temporada que estamos pensando.
Yes, of course. This is a preseason that is just getting started.
Há pouco tempo que estamos treinando e ter um partido assim é bueno para nós outros.
We just started training a couple weeks ago, and have a game like this is very positive for us.
Para poder mirar o que fazemos bem, o que fazemos mal, para poder cambiar, para que quando pensar no campeonato podemos corrigir o erro e ganhar os partidos.
It's very important to see what we did good, what we didn't do too good, and then thinking of obviously the regular season. Hopefully we can fix some of the mistakes and start on the right foot.
What do you think y'all did well?
¿Qué piensas que hicimos bien hoy como equipo?
Não, fizemos bem que marcamos goles. Creio que poderia ser um pouquinho melhor atrás, pero estamos pensando, creio que vamos melhorar muito ainda.
It was positive, to score goals. Obviously, we can be a little bit better on the back, but we're just getting started, and we're definitely we're gonna improve.
And for you, you'd said you want to score more goals this year, scoring 2 in the first preseason game. A confidence boost for you or anything like that?
Que dijiste que querías meter más goles este año y hoy metiste 2, que si esto te da un poquito más de confianza.
Sim, claro, eu sempre tenho muita confiança em mim, em minha equipe. Eu trabalho muito duro para isso e estou muito contente de ter marcado 2 goles, pero é apenas também pensando na pré-época, amistoso. Temos que continuar trabalhando muito e espero que este ano marque muitos goles na MLS.
Yes, of course. It's always good to score a couple goals. We're just getting started. I have a lot of confidence in myself and my team. We're working really hard, and hopefully I can score many goals this year in the MLS.
It seemed like you were positioned very centrally throughout the entire game, or the entire first half. Anyway, is that a focus for you tactically this season?
Que parece que estaba jugando más por el más centralizado, que si es un enfoque que Gonzalo te ha hablado este año.
Creio que Gonzalo me dá muita liberdade para jogar. Tenho muita liberdade para jogar tanto por fora ou por dentro, sempre cambiando com Brooks.
I think Gonzalo is giving me a lot of freedom, whether I'm playing on more of an outside role or more in the middle. Always interchanging with Brooks. That's what Gonzalo wants, and that's what we're working on.
What did you learn from the first team guys in the first 45 minutes?
There were some good things. We were working specifically on the defensive side of things, and we didn't show well. So obviously we will correct that. We talked about that already in the locker room. But there were some also good things. I think in attack we had some different type of movements that I wanted to see with a different setup, and some of those were successful. We need to do that more frequently, but somehow happy with the attacking side in some ways, but not happy with the defending side. And then happy for Luis. I think it's important for him, and he really wants to show a different face this year, and starting like this in a preseason game is good for him.
Try not to project too much from the very first preseason game, but giving up goals is, within minutes after y'all scored is something that kept happening last season. Also, any concerns about that?
No, we'll get better. We will get better. Also, there were some heavy legs. We've been training very hard, so we understand all of that. And yes, we will. We were not up to our standard, but we will get better there.
And you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it looked like y'all were playing instead of with 2 6s, almost with 2 8s today, and Santi just as a lone defensive midfielder. Is that a tactical tweak we expect to see for the rest of the season, or is that specific to this game, or?
Well, we are flexible tactically, but today we tried that out of, not having Thiago, and so then we moved Rossetto kind of in Thiago's position, and then Ibarra went in that position as Rossetto goes, but tactically in the build-up we tried to get Santi and Ibarra together, and from there Luis has more space on the inside channel, so Brooks is out wide, and we try to put that connection of Luis, Thiago in the middle with 2 midfielders here feeding balls in between the lines, and with 2 airplanes on the flank trying to run in behind. And obviously the integration of the 9 in certain plays coming to show. I think Jackson did well in a few. He had good ideas. The execution was bad, but he showed in the right pocket. And it will get better. It's only 3 weeks into the preseason.
And Almeida and Mosquera's injuries not
Just
serious?
out of precaution, we put them out of the game.
Amar the same?
Amar, yes, Amar is a little bit the same. He also took a hook the other day in his foot, and it's up to pain tolerance, but we hold him out a little bit.
We've
Gonzalo?
seen, go ahead.
No.
We've seen Santi and Franco together and double pivot a couple times, and it hasn't necessarily worked out all that well. How do you feel about them as a pairing, and are there any concerns with that pairing?
Yeah, it's actually unfair for me to judge Ibarra and Santi's performance in that sense, especially Ibarra, because he was training the whole week and actually 2 weeks as a holding center mid. But out of Thiago being recently, like today, we noticed that Thiago couldn't go. Then I put him in that position. So, but I was trying to get that pair, kind of 2 sixes playing there. For me, Ibarra is one that can play on both, but obviously he hasn't trained. And since it's a new setup, new setup for the team, probably he wasn't aware of a couple of things, but eventually he can do it.
So Franco was a single pivot when you were training with Santi a little more forward?
Yeah, no. So I was training, like I was planning. Santi was playing with the second group, and then Ibarra was playing with Rossetto and Thiago in the middle. So that was the setup we've been training, and today I move everything out. So it's unfair for me to criticize a lot Ibarra's tactical movement, or even Rossetto that was playing on the left, and that created a little bit of issues on both sides. But it's okay. They will see the film and we will get better.
That's because of Santi's suspension, that he's been with the second team?
A little bit, yeah. I'm thinking on everything. Probably I will be rotating throughout the preseason, the starting lineups and that, and I will try to see different things. I still don't have a best 11 for the season, so I need to figure it out. There's competition. There are spots that are very open for competition, and we'll see who shows better in the next few games.
Gonzalo, I know you can't play tentative, but to see Brad and Miles back out there, just the fact, I know they're in training, but to be actually in a match, what was that like? Just to see them back, but also just how they kind of reacted, and did they, were there any jitters on their part? I mean, you're coming off those injuries.
Yes, first of all, I'm very happy with seeing them back in a real game since long time ago. You can imagine the emotions they had before this game, and it's the first time back. So we are all very pleased with that. Once I said that, obviously you can see that both they still the distances and the little things that real game brings is still not quite there. You can see that, but they will get better with time. They are fantastic players, and we miss them. So now that we have them back, it's my job just to take care of them and put them in the right path for success for the whole season.
Can you take more out of a match like this than training, in just the sense that, obviously not the glaring faults, but just little things as well?
Yes, no, I take a lot out of this match. We can see a lot of mistakes that we had, but also a lot of good actions. I really think that Chattanooga plays good football, and they're a very good team. So it was a good challenge for us, and we will continue the evolution of the preseason.
Coach, second 45, you had a lot of players out there who knew each other from Atlanta 92. So their associations were there. What did you think about Noah at the back continuing to grow? Because there were a couple of times where Noah shut things down when he had to. And then Luke, offensively, working down the right-hand side, drawing the kick just outside the 18. Two shining spots in that second 45 for you as well.
Yes, honestly, I was telling my coaching staff that after the first half I was upset, but the kids put me in a good mood just by their good actions, their good tactical awareness, discipline, but also what I was telling them is the hunger that the academy kids always remind all us, all of us professionals, is that passion of they really want to succeed. They really want a spot in the Atlanta United first team. So they are showing character, personality, relentless movement, and one of those you mentioned is Luke Brennan, right? I was telling good things the other day about him and his runs in behind, and today showed very well again. I'm very happy with that. Ronald, for me, was the leader of that group, the more veteran out of that group. Quentin, of course, but he was a field player, and Ronald showed very well. I think Firmino and Carton understood that role of two midfielders there and were dictating the tempo, the pockets of space occupied by Brennan and Tyler Young. What you mentioned about Noah, we know he's a fantastic defender. On the one-on-one is difficult for any player to go by him. He needs to do better on the build-up, and that's probably the next step. And a couple of the angles, but he's a very talented center back that we have a lot of hopes for him in the future for Atlanta United. So I think the kids did very well.
Last one, Doug.
Can you go into any of the detail or background on the Anton Walk's armbands? The team wore today. Whose idea was that? When did it come about?
Yeah, I don't know whose idea was, Doc. It was just in my locker, and I felt that it was the minimum thing we could do for him. Obviously, I never talk about that, but it's obviously very sad news about Anton. It put the team in a very sad mood for multiple days. And yeah, it put us all emotional because Anton was a big part of Atlanta United, and you don't need too much time to fall in love with that kid that was full of passion and love for the game, love for the teammates, and we will miss Anton Wax, and I hope we can honor him on and off the field because he was a great guy.
Will this be a season-long thing, or is this?
I don't know, Doc.
Okay.
Whatever we do for Anton that's just one thing that maybe we show publicly, but the best thing we can do on a daily basis is honor a good man and a fantastic teammate that was with Atlanta United. So the best thing we can do is internally honor him in our daily effort, our daily lives. Remember him because he was very fun, and he always brought fun into the locker room and good vibes. So that's the best way we can honor Anton Walks, is living by his values and the way he used to put the mood in the locker room. I think is the best way we can honor him.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.